It's always lit over at AJsRANTroom.com. We got the best bags and accessories, our beloved Black Series. We got fresh lids for you hat lovers, fire jackets and hoodies, and of course we got you covered on the t-shirts. And introducing our first shoe line, Aloysius Germain. So get on over to AJsRANTroom.com today and get to shopping. You won't be disappointed.
Yo, 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 yo. Let's get the levels working here. What's good, everybody? How's everybody doing? Happy Tuesday. Hope all is good in your respective worlds. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? I'll wait for the first confirmation that I can be heard and seen. Hallelujah. Let's bring that down a little bit. All right, there we go. Wait, check, mic check. Oh, I didn't get the first confirmation yet. I don't know. Maybe people can hear me. Oh, yeah. Nobody? Okay. Well, I'm just going to assume I can be heard and seen because nobody's talking back to me. So, all right, cool. Oh, thank you, Pat. Appreciate it. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Hope all is good in your respective worlds. Yeah, we got a lot to cover. So, let's get started. So, former NFL quarterback and current, well, hopefully, I don't know for how much longer, NFL announcer, Fox, I believe he works at Fox, announcer Mark Sanchez was reportedly doing wind sprints in an alley behind a bar where he had been drinking before confronting a 69-year-old grease disposal truck driver. Now, Sanchez allegedly told the man he needed to move his vehicle because it was blocking the alley. Sanchez then allegedly tried to enter the man's truck, followed the driver, and began threatening him before attacking. The driver told police he attempted to use pepper spray on Sanchez, but it had no effect. He said that at that point, he defended himself with a knife. After stabbing Sanchez 2 or 3 times in the chest, the driver said Sanchez looked at him with a look of shock before running down the alley. Police followed a trail of blood through the alley and later found Sanchez inside a nearby bar. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition, where he was placed under arrest and underwent surgery. So Sanchez was scheduled to broadcast the Sunday's Colts Raiders game in Indianapolis, and obviously he didn't get to do that. The network has since announced that the Notre Dame quarterback Brady Quinn will fill in for him. Now, this has a lots of moving parts. This is still an unfolding story, so there's no definitive like what actually happened. But there's a video of Mark. I didn't download it of Mark stumbling down the street holding the wound. I do have a picture of the grease truck driver, which is pretty gruesome. So I'll show it probably. I don't know. Hopefully YouTube don't penalize me for showing it. But he's in the hospital too, and he's pretty banged up. So it looks like Mark was out there drinking, acting reckless. And what was so crazy is that less than 20, I think maybe just over 24 hours after the attack, the grease truck driver's family had already sued Sanchez and Fox Sports and had already wilded out. So take a look.
So Perry Toll, that's the 69-year-old man Sanchez allegedly attacked. Perry Toll fired a lawsuit today against Sanchez and Fox. The lawsuit alleges that Toll suffered, quote, permanent disfigurement, loss of function, other physical injuries, accuses Fox of not supervising Sanchez's behavior, that Fox should have known about his, quote, propensity for drinking and or harmful conduct. Could Fox really be held liable for this?
Well, I don't see this in as much as when you talk about a civil case, right? Obviously, there's a different standard. Criminal beyond a reasonable doubt, it goes to liberty. When you talk about civil cases, it's a preponderance. Is it more likely than not? But the critical issue as to whether Fox would be responsible is, was he acting at that time within the scope of his employment? And whether or not Fox knew or had reason to know that he had some proclivity towards violence, etc. There are indications from teammates that this was out of character, that he had no aggression within him. And so, wow, did that lawsuit come quick? It just happened yesterday. There's a lot to unravel. But of course, when you get into whether or not an employer is responsible, it has a lot to do with whether you were furthering the interest of your employer. He might have been there to give commentary, but was he at that time engaged in his employer's business? I don't know that he was. And so it might be a stretch.
Yeah, I think that might be a stretch, suing Fox as well. But, hey, this man looks pretty bad. He's still in the hospital. And so this is the driver that got in the altercation with Sanchez, and he's in pretty bad shape. So I'm going to show that really quickly, and then I'm going to remove it because I don't want YouTube getting me. And so listen, I don't know how this is Fox's fault. It wasn't like he was announcing the show when the fight broke out or whatever. I mean, he was traveling for work. So he was in Indianapolis, to my knowledge. Mark Sanchez doesn't live in Indianapolis, so he's traveling for work. He's clearly in Indianapolis for work. He obviously, must have been like downtime. This was like, you have downtime, you have your free time, time where you get to go out and do whatever you want to do, whatever. He clearly had too much to drink, and all of these parts are unfolding. Mark has said nothing regarding his side, and he probably won't because there's a lawsuit now involved, and his lawyers probably told him to shut up. So he's probably not going to release a statement or say anything, and especially in the coming weeks, especially with his job in the balance. So it's there's a lot of moving parts here, but it's a very weird story. And and by all accounts, Mark Sanchez is a cool person. I don't know. President Trump spoke about him yesterday when he on Fox News, and he said he's a very nice guy, and he's never had any problems with him. So who knows? We'll see how this unfolds, and hopefully all involved get well soon. And we'll see. I will keep you posted on how that lawsuit unfolds. Now let's get to some. Wait, where are we? Debauchery. All right. So Harvard, after they got the money from the federal government, because remember they had the freeze and then they unfroze it because Harvard then agreed to everything, and then all of a sudden Harvard decides to hire a drag queen as a visiting professor in gender studies, gender and sexuality studies. Take a look.
Baby's got some competition. Another drag queen's taking over Harvard. Lahore Vagistan was just named the professor.
Yeah, you heard that right. Lahore Vagistan. Say it again, Jesse.
Baby's got some competition. Another drag queen's taking over Harvard. Lahore Vajistan was just named a professor. Preferred pronouns, she and auntie. Auntie Lahore Vajistan will be teaching a class on RuPaul's Drag Race, whatever that means. Lahore is no stranger to college campuses. Here's they, them at the University of Michigan.
I know it's finals week. I know you're all stressed. Thank you for being here. My name is Lahore Vajistan.
Lahore Vajistan, welcome to Ann Arbor.
Drag doesn't have to be about makeup and dress. And sometimes drag is just about how we use our bodies to recalibrate gender and sexuality and race.
Jesse Jr. is going to be going to Yale.
Listen, this is why I say college is a scam. Nobody who's really in school to really do something professional on a professional level that requires a higher learning degree is taking this bullshit course. And this is why these student loans and all of these things that y'all want forgiven, y'all are taking dumb classes like this. And this is exactly why I don't agree with forgiving your loans and I don't agree with dismissing your loans, because you take stupid classes like this. Now, if you actually go and you actually have a profession where it requires a higher degree, attorney, lawyer, architect, engineer, stuff that really requires you to study. When you're studying stupid stuff, dumb stuff, stuff that makes no sense, stuff you shouldn't even have to. How is this even allowed? But of course, the Trump administration said, look, y'all gonna have to agree to some stuff, because they already agreed to it and then got the money and then decided to do this anyway. What the hell is RuPaul's Drag Race? Is that what he said?
Campuses. Auntie Lahore Vajistan will be teaching a class on RuPaul's Drag Race.
So you're teaching a class on what in the whole dog monkey do you need a course on RuPaul's Drag Race in a higher learning facility? Why would any college student need that class? Why? Do you have to go to college to be a drag queen now? No. It's a job. Go get a job as a drag queen. If that's what you want to do, live your life. This is such a waste of money. That's all I'm thinking. It's just a waste of money. Could you imagine if you're paying out of pocket and your kid is like, yeah, I want to take the vagina monologues or whatever the hell this person's name is. I want to take their class. Like, I ain't paying for that. You want to take that class? You better do work study or something, because I ain't paying for that. This is stupid. This is absolute waste of time, effort, energy, and and this is why you can't pay your loans back, because you go to school and you major in dumb things. You major in stupid things and you end up in courses like this that don't matter in the long run. School is an investment. It's an investment in your future. And if your future is not going to make you any money, then just get your ass out of school and go learn a trade or go start the career you ultimately want to start. Because again, most of the things you're going to learn is in the real world and not in the classroom. This is an absolute waste of time. I don't know who takes these classes, because clearly this isn't the first time they've done this. So they've brought another one in and said, hey, people are taking this class. Let's sign them up. I'm annoyed. I'm confused. And this is just dumb. I have nothing super articulate to say about this, except this is just retarded as fuck. All right, cool. And shame on Harvard. Shame on Harvard. Like, Harvard is one of the most prestigious universities in the country, allegedly. And one of the most prestigious universities in the country is doing a course on RuPaul's Drag Race. Even if, say, you're like a human sexuality major or whatever it is, I don't know what the major would be, with psychology, I don't know, whatever. Why do you need this class? Why? Why do I need a man dressed up as a woman? Here, I understand they're getting paid. Like, obviously, they're not going to turn down the check, but Why? Why are we using federal taxpayer dollars to pay this person to teach a course on nothing? This is a course on nothing. This is something you can learn on YouTube. Like I literally said, the stuff that I learned in college, I could have learned on YouTube. Um, yes, I'm on he's taking a course on RuPaul's Drag Race. That would never. Oh my God! Oh, is he studying engineering? Is he going to be an architect? Like, what is he? No, he's studying RuPaul's Drag Race. If y'all don't leave me the whole hell alone. Oh God! Moving on. So, the governor of North Carolina finally signed Arena's law into finally signed Arena's law, and so after much stalling, and JD Vance went down there and said, "Hey, we got to get this together because I don't understand what's the stalling, what's the holdout." And so wait, do we want to read this first, or do I want to? Yeah, we could read this first, and then we'll watch the video. So, North Carolina signs criminal justice bill into law after Ukrainian refugee killing. North Carolina Governor Josh Stein, Democrat, on Friday signed into law new criminal justice legislation in honor of Irina Zarutska, 23, who was killed while in transit on the Charlotte Light Rail in August. House Bill 307, also referred to Arena's Law, was overwhelmingly approved by the Tar Heel state's legislature, where Republicans hold the majority in both chambers. The law will lower hurdles for the death penalty in North Carolina by removing prior barriers that barred executions, and will also require the swift review of death penalty appeals within 2 years. That's one thing I never understood about the death penalty, is that it takes so long. Like, these people just exhaust appeals, and they just drag this out. Yeah, that has to be a more expeditious process. Any appeal or motion filed more than 2 years must be scheduled for hearing by December 2026, and the hearing must take place by December 2027, according to the legislative text. Under the law, certain violent offenders would be denied cashless bail and limits judges' authority over pretrial release. How about you hire people who are actual judges? Let's start with that. While requiring most defendants to undergo mental health evaluations. The evaluations could become mandatory if a defendant charged with a violent offense has been involuntarily committed within the past 3 years, according to the Death Penalty Information Center. The suspect in Zarutska's killing, we don't say animals' names, was arrested several times prior to the stabbing on board the Charlotte train. Police said he suffered from mental issues from which he'd been admitted to the hospital. Yeah, and we're also going to make sure we clarify that his mother did everything she could to get him committed, involuntarily committed, and it's the justice system that failed us here. So it wasn't his family, it was the justice system. They knew that this man should not have been on the street. She knew her own child shouldn't have been on the street, and they kept releasing him. Brown now faces federal and state charges, could receive the death penalty if convicted. House Bill 307, or Irina's Law, alerts the judiciary to take a special look at people who may pose unusual risk of violence before determining their bail. That's a good thing, and why I have signed it into law, Stein said in a video discussing the bill signing. The law fails, however, to focus appropriately on the threat of people who pose pose instead of their ability to post bail, he added. Stein, who formerly served as North Carolina's Attorney General, also raises concerns about the bill's attempt to open the door to firing squad executions in lieu of the state's inability to obtain the necessary drugs for lethal injections. Why do we have a shortage? It's not like we're executing people every 2 minutes. So why is there a shortage? I gotta look into that. And anybody, if you know in the chat, just let me know why we have a shortage on the lethal injection drugs. I don't know why. The governor said the text was adjusted to include the provision through a last-minute GOP amendment. Quote, "It's barbaric. There will be no firing squads in North Carolina during my time as governor. Beyond these specific concerns with legislation, I'm troubled by its lack of ambition or vision, Stein said in the video. It simply does not do enough to keep you safe. But what were y'all doing before that? I mean, like, y'all make it seem like y'all was doing the best job y'all could do. Y'all were literally being passive. Y'all were letting animals back out onto the street. This woman would be alive today had we even had this in place. Because he would have met the bar for no, you can't have you have to pay something to get out of here. And his mother wouldn't have paid it. And so therefore he would have been in prison and not out on the streets stabbing people randomly on the light rail. So that's it. You want to talk about barbaric? You know, it was barbaric watching that girl get stabbed and watching her literally fall to the ground. Nobody goes to help her until people on the other side of the car realized what had happened and ran over to help her. But the people closest to her just set their asses there. This is crazy. The Democrat governor has urged Republicans to return to session and approve his safety package that increases police pay and funds measures for violence prevention. Blah 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 blah. Look, we're bored. This was totally avoidable, and you know, for this governor who literally sat on his hands until somebody got killed, just needs to shut the hell up. And how the hell do y'all keep getting a Democrat governor in North Carolina? How does that happen? Anyway, so here's a little more of a breakdown on Arena's law.
Arena's law just passed. Here's how it happened and what it means. Irina Zarutska was a 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee who escaped war only to be stabbed to death on a Charlotte train by a man who never should have been free. Her killer, a repeat offender out on a written promise to appear. No bail, no accountability, just a system that said, see you in court, and hope for the best. That failure sparked Arena's law. It cracks down on judges handing out get-out-of-jail-free cards to violent offenders. It forces real evaluations, real accountability, and real consequences. Public safety shouldn't be a gamble, and freedom shouldn't be free when you've proven dangerous. She fled from the war zone to find safety and became the reason why we defined it. Arena didn't die for nothing. Her name now reminds America, justice delayed isn't justice at all.
Facts. Yeah. This needs to be a nationwide thing, like more cities, you know, especially LA. I know, New York, you know, other places where they're very lenient on their criminals. This needs to be we can't do a federal thing, but more cities should wake up and realize that this ain't it. So moving on. All right, so we're in day 7 of the government shutdown. Now you have airplanes being affected. You have people literally not coming to work because I don't blame them. You're not going to pay me. What the hell am I showing up here for? I would never show up to a job where they're not going to pay me. I signed up for X amount of dollars, and then I know I'm gonna get it like once y'all figure it out. But no, right now bills are due right now, so I don't have time to be sitting here waiting for y'all to play, you know, politics with my life and my livelihood. So we've had Speaker of the House Mike Johnson come out every day since and make it very clear what's going on. And Democrats, I don't know what kind of special, kind of stupid these people are, but to think that they can pin this on the party that's actually unanimously voted to keep the government open, even when they weren't in power, you look kind of dumb. You look very dumb. You look stupid AF, because this isn't a Republican thing. This is absolutely a Democrat thing. And here's the thing: this is the same damn continuance. This is the same resolution that y'all approved 13 times under President Biden. All of a sudden, President Trump's here, and now we want to be Norma Ray. Now we want to be Rosa Parks. Now we want to stop. Oh, because we're trimming down the government. This was the issue. The issue was always this bloated, abusive federal government. That's the biggest issue here. And the reason why so many of us support Donald Trump is because we knew that he was going to get in there and bust it up. We're tired. We have money going to places that we've never we didn't know, and we're going to break it down in a moment. And some of the things that these Democrats want to put back in, like, this isn't the moment to do that. All this continuance was going to do was extend the negotiation 7 weeks. So keep the government open while we negotiate for 7 more weeks, right? And then we can talk about all this stupid stuff that y'all want to put back in, and then not approve it, right? Or come to some sort of resolution on, I don't know, whatever. But here's the thing. Now you're playing politics with people's lives. You're playing politics with your own constituents and the people who didn't vote for you. And you just don't care. This is proof that Democrats don't care. You shut down the government to get Obamacare shoved through, right? And then what was Nancy Pelosi's line? Yeah, we don't really know what's in it, but let's just pass it now. We'll read it later. That's the kind of stuff yeah. So here's the clean resolution. This was the clean resolution that wasn't partisan. There was no Republican tricks in the continuance. There was nothing. It was literally the same thing, right? So it was a 7-week clean extension, nonpartisan, no gimmicks, no new partisan spending demands, allows time for continued work on regular order bipartisan appropriations, which is already underway. What's wrong with that? That sounds like what you should be doing, right? But no, here we go. Democrats, they want to put illegal aliens and able-bodied adults back on free American taxpayer-funded healthcare. Why the hell, if you are able-bodied, do you need taxpayer-funded healthcare? Why? And then you're only and it's not like Trump said you can't have it. He said if you want it and if you want to stay on it, you got to do something for it. You are literally physically able to take your ass to work. And you want to sit back and let the government take care of you. No, that's not how that works. That's not what Medicaid was created for. It wasn't created for lazy slobs to live off of it or to lean on it. No. There's plenty of healthcare options. Now, again, like I said, we approach healthcare from the wrong place. We need to approach it from the free market approach. I love, and I also like oh, dang it, hold on. I like the free market approach, and and then it's also the cost of everything, right? So it's like we're not approaching this from the right angle always, right? They want to send $500 million to left-wing media, so that's the PBS stuff and the NPR stuff. Nobody cares about that. We're not sending money to that anymore. We're done. It's over. If you want to know how to cut your dick off, go to YouTube. They will teach you everything you need to know. YouTube University is very, very, very plentiful. You can learn anything at YouTube University. Repeals and $50 billion investment in rural healthcare. I thought the rural people were getting ravaged by the by Trump's one big beautiful. I thought that it's y'all who want to ravage them. Okay. Remember all the lies? Oh, he's cutting funding to the hospitals. And it was all a bunch of BS. If you actually just read the damn bill, you would know that that was untrue. But this is what they bank on. And then they want $1.5 trillion in new partisan. No, that totals $1.5 trillion in new partisan spending. These are the same people who are complaining that, oh, Donald Trump's going to add to the spending. He's going to add to the budget. He's going to add to the deficit. He's going to. He's the same people. These are the same people. I can't believe these people. And then you realize Donald Trump now has, because once you shut down the government, now the executive branch can really look through the books and really they can start making decisions without Congress because the government shut down. So you've given this man an unprecedented amount of power, dummies. And so, yeah, now he's going to start trimming more stuff. So he brought in homeboy from Project 2025, said, look through these Democrat programs. And let's see what happens. Let's see what we don't need. Let's see what we can cut. Let's see what fat we can trim out of this, because this is ridiculous. The spending is absurd. And then you had Senator Kennedy on the floor a couple days ago, literally reading the things that were cut and the things that they want back. No, absolutely the hell not. And this is why y'all are overtaxing us. This is why you have President Biden hiring 87,000 armed IRS agents to come after the middle class, because they damn sure ain't coming after rich people. They're coming after the regular people. They need to shake you down from taxation is the biggest scam, I think, on the planet, because you get taxed on the money you take home, and then you pay taxes on stuff you purchase with the money you have left. Then you pay these unnecessary, stupid little taxes on things in your daily life that most of us don't even realize. It's just we're so accustomed to it, we don't even realize it anymore. Taxation is a scam. It's theft. And if anything, like Charlie Kirk's old tweet said, this would be a good time to actually abolish the IRS. This would be a perfect time to do it. This is the perfect time. But I think the Trump administration is they're really looking into stuff right now. So y'all keep the government, keep it shut down, because it actually is going to benefit us in the long run. Y'all look dumb. Democrats, you have egg on your face. And the only people who believe you are the dummies who will vote for you and support you no matter what you say or what you do. That's the only people who believe you. No real independent believes what you're saying. Because if you see the people who are supporting keeping the government open, none of them have an R next to their name. So how can you accuse Republicans, right? So we have 53, I believe 53 Republican senators. 2 Democrat senators joined them. So that's 55. We just need 5 more Democrat senators to say yes. And we know that Chuck Schumer can get that for us. He can be one of the 5. We know this. We know we can get 5 more senators, but y'all want to play hardball. So when you come back, and you can't undo anything Trump does right now, you can't undo it once the government's reopened, because you gave him this unprecedented power. Now you're screwed. So thank you. And as Trump said, thank you. Thank you for giving me this unprecedented power, you dummies. So yeah, this is absolutely, y'all look so ridiculous right now. Y'all look so pathetic right now. Y'all look so tired right now. This ain't about, and then instead of you get on there and really address the issues, you lie, you gaslight. Then you have bimbos like AOC talking about, well, they can come talk to me. Why the hell does anybody need to come talk to a congressperson? It already passed the House. This is a Senate issue. So when you have Hakeem Jeffries non-binary ass talking about, hey, Mike Johnson can come debate me right now if he wants to. Mike Johnson, like, debate you for what? I've done my part. We've done our part. We got it through. We got it bipartisan. We got a couple of Democrats to join us in passing it and sending it over to the Senate. We have no dog in this fight. We have no dog in this fight. We've done our part. We didn't add any we didn't add anything to the bill that would force it to come. It doesn't have to come back to us. We're done. We've done our part. That's it. That's on them. So get us 5 Democrat senators, or just continue to watch Donald Trump work, because that's all he's going to do. He's going to continue to work. Now, it's unfortunate, that folks can't get paid. It's unfortunate that our military is not getting their money. It's unfortunate that air traffic controllers and TSA aren't. All of this is unfortunate. This is why you need to privatize the air traffic controllers and TSA. That's why stuff like this needs to happen. Yeah. So if there was ever a perfect time to do this, it's now. So we're getting it done. We're getting it done. Democrats, you're dumb. You're annoying. You get on my nerves, and I don't even know why we're even still having this conversation. But anyway, let's move on to say Jack Smith. All right, so Republicans are pissed. Republican lawmakers are pissed, rightfully so. You're spying on people's private calls, private communications, and then we're just supposed to sit there and twiddle our thumbs and act like it didn't happen. But of course, if Kamala Harris was president, we wouldn't even know about any of this because it would have all been covered up. So let's watch a couple of clips from the press conference of Republican lawmakers yesterday, and then we'll unpack it.
First of all, I want to thank Senator Grassley. It is because of his relentless advocacy for whistleblowers that a lot of this information is surfacing right now. We wouldn't know about the list of 100 Republican entities that were targeted by Jack Smith's Arctic Frost investigation. I don't think we know about this as well. So we need whistleblowers. I think Dan Bongino and folks in the FBI, they don't know where all the records are hidden. They still don't. They're not necessarily getting 100% cooperation. But this is outrageous what has happened. I just want to give you a timeline of this. I think you've already got the FBI sheet that shows the number of members of Congress that were targeted. Representative Kelly, Senators Graham, Haggerty, Hawley, Sullivan, Tuberville, myself, Senator Lummis, and Blackburn. This memo was dated September of 2023. To put it all into context, the Mar-a-Lago raid occurred in August of 2022. Jack Smith announced the indictments against President Trump in August of 2023. So this is almost 2 months later. They're casting this net, this fishing expedition against members of the Senate and the House. Again, I've been investigating this with Senator Grassley. This doesn't surprise me, but it should shock every American of what the Biden administration has done. And by the way, this is the first time I was targeted by the FBI. Under the Obama administration, the same thing happened to both Senator Grassley and I. As part of the Foreign Influence Task Force, we were giving a briefing to try and convince us that the Hunter Biden laptop was no big deal. Basically.
Okay. Look, I understand all that. But I'm done being shocked. I want to see some action. I want to see some more indictments. Right? I want some more people to actually face consequences. I'm done being shocked. And to be honest, none of this shocks me. None of this shocks me. We knew these people were dirty. We knew these people were overplaying their hand, and we knew that these people. This is why they want Donald Trump dead, because all of this stuff is being exposed. This is what they never wanted exposed. This was never supposed to happen. Donald Trump was never supposed to be the 47th president. But this is what happens when you play God. You may get over with your 81 million prank the first time, but you ain't going to get over again. That's it. You got me once, but you ain't going to get me again. And to go back, yes, absolutely. This was something I say often. I do not understand for the life of me how the Congress literally votes on their own pay raises. Who the hell does that? The American people should vote on your pay raises. I don't know why. This is something that the forefathers meant. I mean, I don't know something. Why is this not in the Constitution? This should be etched into the Constitution. We should literally be voting on your pay raises, and in addition, it should also be in the Constitution that if you shut down the government, your ass don't get paid. Because I can promise you, if these Democrats were not getting paid right now, if they knew that they would not be able to get their checks, they would not have shut down the government. They would not have shut down the government. So I do think a constitutional amendment needs to be in place that literally states the people vote on your pay raises, and also if you shut down the government, you don't get paid either. Because I don't understand that TSA agents, they don't make a lot of money to begin with, and so they get to suffer, but you still get to have your check. No. That's the biggest load of malarkey that I've ever heard in my life. No, absolutely the hell not. You should not get your check. How you getting paid, but the person making $15 an hour is not, but you want them to show up and do their job in excellence. Mind you, they have to do their job in excellence because there are thousands of people whose lives depend on it. Literally. You don't want an air traffic controller not getting paid? All it takes is one, and I'm not going to influence nobody to do nothing, so I'm going to just shut up. But yes, Pat, absolutely. Remember this when y'all vote. Remember this. This needs some action. And of course, Lindsey Graham was pissed off. Now, I will preface with this video because I got it on X and whoever screenshot it didn't turn off their notifications, so they kept getting like notifications coming through and whatever. But go ahead, Lindsay.
Just he may be a Russian agent or Carter Page that is now no longer reliable. How does that not get to the court? Can you tell me how that doesn't get to the court? You can't, can you?
I can't, Senator, and I
Can
can't
you tell me
discuss it.
why my phone records, when I'm the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, were sought by the Jack Smith agents? Why did they ask to know who I called and what I was doing from January 4th to the 7th? Can you tell me that?
No, Senator, and there were 8 senators in total.
That's ridiculous. But again, I'm done being outraged. I need action. Time for some action. Time for some action. And so I'm not gonna sit up here and it's outrageous and I can't believe it happened. No, I believe it happened. Now we're getting the proof that it happened. So I'm not shocked. But I'm not gonna play oh my God, this is ridiculous. I'm not gonna play that game. We already knew this was happening. So now it's time for some action. So now heads need to roll. Now that the stuff is being exposed, now I need action. You had Tulsi Gabbard standing at a podium months ago exposing things that Obama did, and nothing has happened. So I'm tired. Give me some action. I don't care about the news. If you're going to give me the news, follow the news up with, here's the indictment. If it ain't no indictments and if nobody's going to trial, then what are we doing this for? So we'll see down the line what happens. But yeah, that's where I am with it. Moving on. Oh, Lord. Our favorite bimbo. Wait, how we get here? You go there. There we go. Our favorite bimbo mayor. In addition to signing a executive order barring ICE agents from creating ICE-free zones to fight quote unquote Trump administration raids. This is even though his constituents, a lot of them want this because they have to live with the violence. And it's always the people with the armed security. Like he has armed security. His wife has armed security. The average person in Chicago don't have that. But they get to just be sitting ducks while you get around the clock armed security and the proper protections. But they shouldn't get, even though their taxpayer dollars are paying for your security. Interesting. Again, taxation is theft. Taxation is a scam. And here's the dummy right here.
Hi, Mayor.
Hi.
I know you're going to talk about the Texas Guard, Illinois Guard, but can you give us a little bit about what your next steps could be to fight that?
Well, look, our corporate counsel has been in constant communication with our Attorney General for several months now. And I just wanted to offer this up. A couple of years ago, I said very candidly that the right wing in this country wants a rematch of the Civil War. I want that to sit in right now because the President of the United States of America has declared war on the people of Chicago and people across America.
That's right.
He's more interested in giving billions of dollars to other nations while farmers in urban cities around this country are literally being destabilized. And so whether it's the legal system, whether it's through executive order, or whether it's through the brave women and men who are serving as rapid responders. We literally have people who are...
This nigga's lying. Shut the whole hell up. You are lying your ass off and you know it. Chicago's broke. Chicago has no money. You have mismanaged the money. The only reason why you're playing this big game because you get a check from the federal government to quote unquote crack down on crime, and clearly ain't been no cracking down on the crime, but everybody else lifestyles get better. So where's the money going? This is all a smokescreen. This is a Marxist puppet right here. This is a donkey for the donkeys. He don't believe this shit coming out of his mouth. This is a plea to emotion. This is all about feelings and all about these sweeping stories and statements that make no damn sense. There's no war on the people of Chicago. There's a war on crime. There's a war on illegals pulling on our resources. Yeah, that should be something every freaking American should get behind. But unfortunately, because we've had this slow indoctrination of our society, and I think they said we're about 4 generations into the indoctrination. So the Marxist indoctrination is about 4 generations deep. So at this point, you have half the people who are dumb as fuck, and then you have half the people who understand what's actually going on here, right? And so then you have these people who, I don't know if he's really this dumb, but clearly he's not, because he has 24-hour armed security on the taxpayer dime. So he's clearly not that dumb, right? Because if he was really about it, he wouldn't have the security, right? He'd be like, I want to waste the taxpayers' money, whatever. But you're going to take the taxpayer funded security and you're going to waste the taxpayers' dollars on a whole bunch of other stuff. But this dumb stuff coming out of your mouth, this ain't nothing to do with no civil war. The Civil War is a plea to emotion. It's about emotionalism. All you got to do is say Civil War, slavery, Jim Crow, black codes, racism, Civil Rights Act, the buzzwords. This man is about as smart as urine. He's stupid. He contributes nothing. And the people of Chicago, when is this mongrel up for re-election? Because there's no way in hell he gets the nomination again. There's no way. He has to be primaried. And stop picking people based on whether they're black or they're fucking a woman fucking a woman. We don't care about none of that. What we care about, people who can do the damn job, people who can stand up and have balls. And then also it's so funny because the police chief that he appoints, it's his job, is kind of not saying the same thing that you're saying. Yeah, it's a little weird that y'all aren't on the same page, but I'm pretty sure you're gonna put him in a room and get him back in line, or threaten to fire him. We're bored, Brandon Johnson. You have run the city of Chicago into the shitter. It was already in the shitter. What's below the shitter? I don't know, but whatever's below that, you run it into it. And we're good. We're good. We're good on you. I believe you're up for election next year. Hold on, let me see. Oh, 2027. Damn, y'all got a minute with this fool. Y'all got a good long minute with this dummy. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. We don't care about your feelings, sir. We care about results. We care about leaders who actually listen to their constituents. Septic tanks? Yes. Septic tanks. Sir Johnson, we're bored, sir. And we need you to just maybe resign. Yeah, maybe resign. Because the only person who believes this is the few dummies in Chicago who actually support you, and you don't even believe it yourself. Anyway, where are we? We'll be we'll be right back. All right. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. How do we even take these people seriously at this point? Like how? How do we even take these people seriously? I don't even understand how Black Lives Matter is even still a thing. And the fact that nobody's going to call out that these fools are suing a Soros-funded foundation for donations they say it owed. Oh my goodness. Not the pro-Palestine people suing the Jews. You suing the Jewish people? I thought y'all was pro-black. What y'all taking money from the enemy for? Y'all enemy, according to y'all. This is y'all enemy, right? Wait, there we go. Pro-Palestine, let's go. Freedom is coming tomorrow. Jewish man, where my money? Wait, I can't find the article. Where is it? Where's the article? Oh, there it is. Oh God! So Black Lives Matter suing Soros-backed Tides Foundation for over missing $33 million. Lord, these freaking the National Black Lives Matter movement. Hold on. There we go. The National Black Lives Matter movement claims $33.4 million of its cash is being withheld by one of its progressive partner organizations, the Post has learned. In a scathing lawsuit, Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation accused the Tides Foundation, backed by George Soros, of allegedly deceptive business practices, as well as egregious mismanagement of its money, while demanding its return. They need that Jewish money. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. The lawsuit filed last year was filed last year, but the stakes were raised Monday when the Black Lives Matter Global whatever foundation, which oversees its other regional operations, asked the California Attorney General to step in and investigate Tides. Wait, investigate Tides? Motherfucker, y'all need to be investigated. Haven't y'all been investigated? What do we... Even during the course of the lawsuit, BLMG, Black Lives Matter, accused Tides of spending $6 million of their donations. Despite promising to freeze any cash belonging to the group during the litigation, according to one of their lawyers. Quote, my client now has to pay just to get their own money back. Okay. After my client raised 100% of it, said these people can't be serious right now. Siegel claimed the BLM money may have been used by Tide to fund their defense against them. That would, whatever. More than $1 million has been spent by Tides out of my client's money just on attorney fees, possibly to pay their own lawyers, said Siegel. It appears that they are paying themselves from charitable donations in order to pay the legal fees that resulted from this case. Black Lives Matter began its relationship with Tide soon after it set up the movement in 2013. So y'all been this is the organically black organization, y'all. And they're very pro-Palestine and all of that stuff, but y'all getting the Jew money. And I was like, wait a minute, because I looked up earlier. I was like, George Soros. I was like, I didn't know. I read when I was reading this morning that Soros, that his father changed the family name to Soros from a Jewish name. I forgot what their original name was. Schwartz, I think it was. Obviously, so it wouldn't sound Jewish, but yeah, Jews. Because the fledgling group was not a tax-exempt charity at the time, it needed a fiscal sponsor to distribute the money it received from anonymous donors of two other organizations. So they needed an umbrella 501c3 and selected Tides to do so. Things got complicated after huge amounts of money poured in following the murder of George Floyd in Minneapolis in 2020. With BLM taking some $90 million in donations between 2020 and 2022. However, that was a drop in the ocean to Tides, which oversees more than $1.4 billion in cash from a myriad of nonprofits. Wow. I'm bored. Where am I? I lost my place. That makes it more difficult for groups like BLM to monitor where their cash is going, legal papers say. Well, who's on the BLM side to make sure that doesn't happen? Tide does not segregate money, Siegel told the Post. All of my clients' money is apparently commingled in one giant account. Tide's fiscal sponsors are very loosely regulated at best. After publication, Tides told the Post in a statement the fund at issue in this litigation was created to support BLM chapters and other Black-led organizations, not one national organization based in Los Angeles. The lawsuit is baseless and driven by one individual that purports to speak on behalf of the movement that is leaderful and grounded in the states. We remain steadfast in our mission to advance racial justice and equality and carry it out with integrity. Oh, please. Listen. You know, I am so bored. Black Lives Matter is not an organically Black organization. I've said that from the beginning. I can tell you how I knew is because the moment you have 3 Marxist fat lesbians saying we're leading the charge for Black people, that's your first alarm bell right there. That's your first alarm bell. This is about profiting off of Black death. That's all these people. It was about personal profit off of Black death. These people since 2013. 2013. That was 13 years. So for 13 years, we've seen no building of police community relations. We've seen we've seen no improvement. Well, not we, but there's been no improvement. All we see is people profiting, people making money, y'all lifestyle. Again, this is like watching your favorite politician. Their lifestyle gets better, everything gets better for them, everything gets streamlined, the makeup gets better, their kids go to the best schools, they're eating the best meals. I mean, Nancy Pelosi and her $20 a pint ice cream, you get to see that in 3D. And then somewhere along the way, the light bulb has to go off. Bing, 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 bing. This isn't for me. I knew BLM was a scam the moment you saw those 3 lesbians sitting there talking about we're trained Marxists. They're saying it out loud and no one cares. We're trained Marxists. They said that. I'm not making that up. They said that in their early interviews and then they stopped saying it. And then you also think about this was an attack on the nuclear family. This was an attack on the Black Lives Matter was basically a storefront for LGBT issues. This was not about Black people, Black community. This was about the LGBT. That's what that organization was about. You look at all the shell companies created under that, where all the money was funneled to, and had nothing to do with Black issues. Nothing to do with it. But you can go look it up for yourself. I'm not making it up. It was all exposed. But we'll sit here and say that I'm the problem versus looking at the people who stole your money. But it is what it is. Well, you made $90 million over a span of 2 years, and then you mean to tell me the money just dried up? Because they knew that you knew that you were pulling a scam. They knew that you was running game on them. That's why the money stopped. That's why people stopped messing with y'all. That's why no one took y'all seriously. Y'all were even a footnote in the 2024 election. Nobody cared. Nobody cared what Black Lives Matter thought. There was nothing to mooch off in that. They moved on. We had moved on to illegal immigrants at that point. So we're bored. So BLM needs to go out of business. This needs to go. Like BLM should have been defunct 2 or 3, 4 years ago. Like the moment we found out the money was being stolen, the moment Candace Owens showed up to Patrisse Cullors' house high in the hills, living the good life, and then she gets on live stream crying, Candace Owens showed at my house. And like Candace Owens was like a thug. Like Candace Owens was super pregnant and she was just doing her due diligence. And you crying on live stream? Stop it. Stop it. From your fabulous house that was supposed to be an art center. What art center is people down in Compton and Inglewood and Watts. How they getting up there? How they getting all the way up to Laurel Canyon? How they getting all the way up to the valley? How they getting up there? Oh, they're not. They're not. That's how. Yeah. So anyway, keep supporting your Black Lives Matter, blah blah blah, whatever. And that's it. That's all I got for you. I appreciate y'all for watching today. Thank you so much. If you would like to support the channel, you can go to AJsRANTroom.com. That's AJsRANTroom.com. We have our new Freedom hoodie right there. That's our for Charlie, and it's a pretty cool hoodie. We also, most of the stuff on the website is not political, and we do have political stuff, but most of it's not political. And anyway, please make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Support a brother. We're very close to the first tier of monetization on this channel, so let's just keep it going. I appreciate you so much for watching. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and until next time, peace.